Hello everyone, this is Yashel Gamer Girl, and welcome back for another speed art. This week's request comes from Sephiroth1204, who wanted me to draw a regal Magikarp. Now, I bet a lot of y'all thinking, oh come on, Magikarp. What, why are you drawing a Magikarp? And I'm just like, you know what? It was a good suggestion. I want to draw a regal but dirt Magikarp because there has to be some type of king Magikarp. I mean, really. And, when it evolves, it would evolve into an awesome King Gyarados. Although I don't know what that would look like at the moment. Anyway, so the reason I didn't post this speed art last week, even though I did it last week, as you'll see later when I write the date, is because I was moving. I was moving into a new apartment. I was the one who was home and lugging all of the stuff from point A to point B, so it was hectic. And you also must excuse my voice. I have some allergies, so you know how allergies are. They're stupid. All right, so what I'm doing here, actually, I had a lot of trouble with the scales for King Magikarp because at first I thought, oh, there's a lot of scales, but then when I was looking at the picture more carefully, like later, um, I looked and I'm like, oh, there aren't that many scales. Oh, and the reason why I had a shuckle up is because I thought I was going to do another um, uh, drawing or whatever for this speed art, but I decided not to because Regal Magikarp was enough, and for what I had when I was time constrained, I did this one day out of the week that I actually was moving. So again, you must excuse my absence and the reason why I didn't like post that time. Anyway, I'm back now and we're all good. And I'm gonna tell you, it was really difficult to do the fins, mostly because the reason I had to do it on a different layer and then like color it, and then I just later realized, oh wait, I have to like outline the under part of it. And I wanted to make sure that King Magikarp's lips were derpy enough, and I strayed away from the original mouth because it was kind of funny. He's going like, duh. Yeah. Anyway, you can tell it's King Magikarp because female Magikarps have the whiskers that are not yellow. Males have the yellow whiskers and females have the white ones. So this is how you can tell it's definitely a king Magikarp, as opposed to a female. Um, what what I'm what I thought was interesting about this is that I thought at first, oh, I'm just gonna put a crown on his head and then, make his eye maybe look slightly less, derp. But then I just decided, hey, it's funnier if Magikarp still looks derp, but also, how do you say, uh, regal at the same time. So yeah, it was quite difficult challenge for me to pull off, but I think I did okay. The another hard part was actually getting the fin for him holding his scepter, his king scepter, and not making it too big because originally when I was drawing it, I actually made the fins way too big, and I didn't realize that until I was starting to draw this, and I'm like, oh, I see, I get it. And the scepter actually couldn't be on a different layer. I just had to kind of wing it and make sure I had to color in the correct things because if I put it on a different layer, it would either be in front of his fin or behind his fin, and that wouldn't have worked since I wanted it in between the two. But again, it worked out because the scepter is a scepter. The only problem I had at first was, okay, the scepter should be what color, and I thought, hey, maybe because he's quote unquote King Magikarp, it should be a type of blue, and I'm like, yeah, but I was thinking as I went about the background, like, oh wait, Magikarp's in the water ruling. So what I had to do was make it a light blue, and then I had to think about, okay, it has to be a enough blue also for him to show up underwater or something like that. Yeah. And you can see, excuse me, the whiskers are making sure that it is definitely looking like a king, you know. And then I had to make sure, excuse me, that his like whatever those fins or whatever the 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 little pointy spiky things on Magikarp were correct. Plus, doing his tail was also trying to make it not too big because, like I did in the drawing, I made it way too big. I also had to like move it, kinda. And I was realizing also like there's too many waves here. I made his tail originally too wavy, so I had to and redo it, and it was not fun because not only that, again, when I was doing this, I was under a time restraint, and I only had so long before I had to go move the second batch of stuff or do laundry or had to pick up, Ben. Again, this is why it's late. So, the funny part about this is that pretty much the whole time I was doing this, I was kind of thinking to myself, hey, would Magikarp have a nickname or would it just be King Magikarp? I couldn't think of a good nickname. I was just thinking his royal airness or something like that But he looks or King Derp Magikarp, but none of them really seemed to work. So I just did a king's robe and stuff because purple is actually the color of royal family, sort of, usually. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Anyway, as I was doing this, I'm like, okay, well, the shading has to be right. And I thought his robe was too long, so I shortened it way so much. Okay, yeah, like that. Anyway, so, the background was actually pretty simple. I had to close out all my other things. The background was simple. Obviously, it had to be underwater, and it had to be so it looked like he would, rule some type of sea somewhere, but not too bad. Anyway, I was also thinking to myself, some of the suggestions that I've been getting they're good, but um, I in a sense I may want a little more of a challenge. Like I've been getting like simple requests like Dunsparce or Pikachu or like the ones that I've been doing, but they're not enough of a challenge. Like if you want to challenge me to draw something like what is it, Rayquaza or like one of those bigger Pokemon, that's harder for me to do, and so, but it would be totally worth it in the end if I could actually like pull it off. Magikarp and all the like simple Pokemon sort of aren't enough of a challenge for me that they take so little time, and I'm like, oh well, I don't have to speed it up as much or something like that. And the shading, as you can see here, is not as hard because the colors, there aren't a variety of colors, or at least there's not too much of a variety of colors, if you get what I mean. It's just basically like red, and then I have to do the bigger shades of red or something. The only thing about is if you do give me a challenge, say Rayquaza or something like that, I'd have to go through multiple colors and it'd take me even longer to do the speed art. I'd speed it up more, but that's not really a problem. It's just that I need a little more of a challenge, either Rayquaza or Palkia or something detailed, but not too detailed. I mean, Arceus is a doable thing, but what kind of Arceus, Give me, when suggesting something, give me more of a challenge. Even the Trico with Goku hair was so simple that the hair took forever, but it didn't take that long. Anyway, as I'm doing the background, I just decided, again, I was pressed for time here because I just wrote in King Magikarp. And then my signature. Alright, so this is King Magikarp. Thank you very much for watching. Please suggest something a lot maybe more detailed next time in the comments below. That's what I want. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Yashu Gamer Girl with CollabCamerupt. Remember to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys next time. Yashu, Huggles.